very different to be a minority but not be treated as a minority right off the bat. But obviously now people are very aware of my race because they made it such an issue when I went to the UK. But before that, most people didn't treat me like a black woman.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, Leilani of Barbados. Okay, today we're going to talk about white passing and the psychosis that it leads to. But before we get into all that, I wanted to say thank you so much. I read all your comments. And I now realize that the letters referenced in Omid Scobie's book Endgame were between King Charles and Meghan Markle, not between King Charles and Princess Catherine. That makes more sense, obviously, because how did he get access to the letters if it was between King Charles and Catherine? Because actually I forgot that the supervillain Meghan Markle's superpower is writing letters. You know, Procter & Gamble, her dad, King Charles. I don't know, I think she just writes letters because people don't answer her calls, to be honest. Why so many letters? At the end of the day, I think the English version of the book should be called Smoke and Mirrors because that's all it is. A bunch of lies, a bunch of pretense, and all of it. And it's not going over very well in the world. Okay, so now to the white passing. White passing is a term that is used when a racially ambiguous person decides to choose that they are white race and they go their whole lives pretending to be white and ignoring the other race, black, in their family. That was very beneficial back in the olden times when, you know, your race hinged on what water cooler you use, what swimming pool you swim in, and what part of the bus you sit in. That's the only thing about Rosa Parks that some people have an issue with, is that she went her whole life sitting at the front of the bus pretending to be white until one day somebody checked her. And and it started a whole civil rights movement. So all is well that ends well, okay? It's a good thing. But a lot of people question, but she did enjoy the luxury of being white for quite some time, right? Anyways, Meghan Markle in these nowadays times is insane to do the same thing. To not only have that self-loathing, but also you kind of hate one of your parents because you're denying them. So you're not only lying about yourself, you're lying about somebody else, your mother or your father. It's crazy, but I have seen it. I, as a biracial person, you all know I'm mixed race, I have always said I'm so happy I came out the color I came out, so that I would never be tempted to live a life of lies where I've seen other people do it. And sometimes they say their mother is their maid, girl. I've seen it. And they're like, oh no, that's just the maid. And people are like, but she kind of looks like you in the face. Oh no, I'm white. That can't be my mother, of course not. I'm just saying it leads to psychosis when you get checked. At some point in your life, you get checked. And if you've been living this lie, you might go mad. I'm thinking this whole paranoia, this whole anger of Meghan Markle is really about self-loathing.
Now people are very aware of my race because they made it such an issue when I went to the UK.
Now you can see from the clip I just showed there, it was never an issue. I mean, it is what it is. It is a thing. It is what makes you up. It is part of your blood. It is what you are. I don't know what she means by issue, by the way. I don't know if she means it in a negative sense or whatever, but it is who you are. So it is a thing that describes you. So why was it never that you were described that way before? Because you were passing, and that's fine if you stay in your little bubble. But Meghan Markle decided that she wanted fame. Some may say Meghan had come to the end of her earning potential as an actress and was looking for one last buck. I mean, 7 years on a TV show playing a side character is giving stale. And she found a prince who liked her for all that she was. You can even see from the engagement interview.
My mom, who we've spent a lot of time with, who was so much fun.
Your mom's amazing.
It was just...
He's bigging up Doria. By the way, when I look back on that interview, I noticed something.
What was it like introducing Meghan to your father and your brother?
What was it like? It was exciting. I mean, I've been seeing her for a period of time when I literally didn't tell anybody at all. And then William was longing to meet her, and so was Catherine. So
why is she grinding her teeth like that? When Harry mentions his father, his brother, his sister-in-law, something's going on there. Harry, first of all, saw her as more black than she saw herself, which is a problem for her. But also, he embraced it. His family embraced it. He thought he would be special. Like, William might have married perfect Catherine, but I have this exotic girl that's going to take me to Africa and the Commonwealth and do all of these cultural things with me, because you know he do like his Africa. She couldn't even stomach it because she has been living her whole life as a different race. So anything that anybody would say to refer to her real self and race would offend her. And this is how you have this. I got this from Sue Smith's video. You can go check it out if you want to. I'll put the link.
Well, I think Meghan Markle is a very sick individual.
But she's not here to defend herself, but
No.
she has said that she has mental health issues, so I don't know
She
whether
clearly
she's
has.
denying.
I think she's got real mental health issues because she manages to get offended by the most inoffensive things. And she was welcomed wholeheartedly into the royal family. The wedding she got was in no way diminished as a result of her being from an ethnic minority or anything like that. She was celebrated, and yet she bit the hand that fed her. She bit the people that put their protective cloak around her. And she kicked the institution in the shins. I don't understand what's wrong with that woman.
Yeah, and they do go crazy when somebody finally reveals them for what they are because they're not ready for that yet. Meghan Markle put on her applications, put on her resumes, white. I'm trying to give you the origin story of the question of Archie's skin color. That would have been something that this happy buffoon, Harry, would have been so excited to talk about because you have the parents of Meghan, who's mixed race, exotic, and Harry, who also is exotic. In my opinion, I think redheads are exotic. It's a recessive gene. It's like a 1 in 4 chance, whatever. And then also Meghan has the redhead genes, also from her dad. So of course he was probably really bigging that up and saying, yes, I know. He even said that in an interview before that he is very proud that his children are mixed race. And he didn't realize that when he told her about this positive feeling that he had, that she would take it as a negative. Because like I said, she wasn't ready for that life. She was not ready to be what she is. It saddens me, really. It's crazy. I have had friends who are biracial or mixed race who don't even look as white as Meghan. And they go around saying like things like, me as a white boy, you know, me as a white boy, I really can't go to those neighborhoods. And you're looking at them and you're like, I know your parents, dude. And eventually they have a reckoning at some point in their lives and they are fish out of water at that point. I have to say, there's also another end of the spectrum, by the way, where you have mixed race people coming out very white looking and they take their cultural identity to another extreme to where they are overcorrecting almost. They want to prove that they side with their black heritage. And then you see that they are the head of the Black Students Association and they're rallying and they're doing all these things and you're looking at them like, there is that. But I mean, think of it this way. There is something very insane about acting how you're perceived. Do you know what I mean? If somebody doesn't know you and they perceive you a certain way, and then you just rise to that perception, there's something crazy about that. It's just not organic. It's just not authentic, is it? For example, if you're blonde and you attend Harvard, but because of how you look, somebody sees you as a dumb blonde, and then you just start acting like a dumb blonde, wouldn't that make you crazy? There is a cognitive dissonance, a disconnect with reality for somebody like Meghan Markle. So this comment about Archie's skin color, she was in a space at that time where she was being lauded as this great mixed race person who would be the head of the Commonwealth, vice president of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. And she had her little veil that I keep talking about with all her little Commonwealth signs on it and all that. And at the end of the day, she was not comfortable in that skin. You know, and they have not been invited to the Duke of Westminster's wedding because a choice has to be made. Choices are going to constantly have to be made. They're going to be excluded. And all Meghan is trying to do is show you how famous she is and how rich she is all the time. But she couldn't show you how mixed she was. But she has to keep showing you how rich she is. It's an overcompensating. It's giving very much small energy. It's showing that she has very big insecurities. Today, she's out here with a bodyguard or security or driver or whatever, smiling away. She should not be smiling. Her involvement in this backlash of Omid's book, at least if you're an actress, at least just put on a miserable face for respect purposes. She's here smiling away. Where are her kids? Why is she so happy without them? All the time. Okay, so I just want to close this off by saying the overwhelming problem in her personality is this racial paranoia thing. I really think this is the root of all of her evil, and then money. 2 things of her personality that make her absolutely intolerable. I don't think that Harry realized the deep paranoia that she had about her race. I think he thought it was very exciting, and I don't think he realized her money grubbing ways. I think he's in shock. Sorry, I can't get over how he's just completely denying that, like, that what we saw on TV, like, it just didn't happen in his mind. It's a hard place for him to be, I must say. But having said that about him, I think he must have given her some kind of permission, some kind of leeway to talk so negatively about his family. No woman, no wife just gets to like talk like that, constantly, incessantly harass and slander her husband's family without giving permission to do so. So I do think he is not without blame. I think he allowed her to do that.
It's your brother. I'm not going to say anything about your brother, but it's so obvious. It's like,
It's even more obvious the fact they'll try and cover that. Again, Jason, the former aide of Meghan and Harry, as opposed to...
That's what I keep saying. I'm like, why are we talking about him as her former aide and not as the person who works for your brother?
That's why I'm not living in a different country.
I think all of us know that mother-in-laws, in-laws, you can't go there. They can talk as much about them as they want, but until they really give you permission, you cannot just do it as well. It's just an unspoken rule, or maybe she's just an animal and she has no couth. I have no idea, really. I just wanted to address this with you today. I really wanted to talk about that because I think everyone is coming to the conclusion that this woman is really unhinged and they're trying to find reasons why. I think this is the reason why. If you pretend to be something that you're not, and then people are telling you, it's great that you're this, even if they think it's great, you have this paranoia. And you get offended by it, even if people are saying it's a good thing. It's a sad place to be, and we're going to see how this all pans out. They are not getting invited to anything. They are being shunned. Omid Scobie's book is a bunch of lies. It is really hanging on a thread. But let me tell you what's even worse, though, before I go. So, like online, all the Meghan Sugars and those sites, they are attacking Catherine to the point where I think she's going to have to sue. It's not even that they're attacking her about racism. They're saying all kinds of other things. So they're bringing up these old tweets like, why doesn't Kate have any female friends other than her sister? Women sense when other women are artificial, false, insecure, social climbing, and greedy. Even when Kate is photographed at a social function, such as the one of many weddings she attends, you never see her making girl talk. She never leaves William's side. Kate probably used to these tactics with Charles as well as Harry. I feel sorry for Harry's future wife. Adjusting to royal life will be hard for her, dealing with Kate and her desperate need to be the center of attention. Will. Sorry. That was hard. It's a hard read. Girl, do you expect her to bring a gaggle of housewives with her to like royal events? She knows that she's there. Unlike Meghan, she actually knows she's there because of her husband. Unlike Meghan, she doesn't have to pay her staff to come to brunch with her. She's there for her husband. And who cares if she has no friends except her husband? But it's just the craziest things are attacking her on all fronts. I just want to end this finally. Sorry, I'm just like, keep trying to end it, but I can't. Okay, I just want to really end this by saying, you know, there's this problem with King Charles suing because when you have court cases in England, you have RV. When it was Queen Elizabeth, it was Regina versus, and now it's Rex versus because he's king. And because all the judges and the council and everybody acts in the name of the king, they're saying it's impossible for him. Not only is it don't complain, don't explain, it's actually impossible because of conflict of interest for him to actually sue. I don't know, girl. I think work around it, figure it out. Figure out a workaround where he can actually sue. But if you can't do that, let Catherine sue. She can sue. And she will never be Regina versus, right? Because it will always be William, it will be Rex. So I think that's a workaround. Let her sue. Somebody's got to sue. This is insane. The amount of backlash that is happening from this. Omid should go on a stand and perjure himself. He should be deposed and then he would have to perjure himself to say that these things really happened that are in the book. And I am happy to hear that that might actually happen because the royal family is looking at all options. Thank you so much for watching me. Don't forget to subscribe, press the bell notifications, and like the video if you did like it. Okay, love you. Bye.
Nothing